Good evening, boys and girls, whichever camera I'm looking at. Is it this camera, or is it... it must be that camera. Okay. So what I would like to do tonight is just say that I'm fortunate enough to be going down to the Genesis Theatre on Saturday afternoon to watch the new Commodore film, Changing the World. 8-bit computing, changed the world. Whatever it is, 8 pixels at a time, what's it called? Something like that. I've met Stephen a couple of times, Stephen Fletcher, the guy who's making the film. Super nice guy. But rather than me just rambling on about the film, I thought I'd let the Amiga show you the film, which, if it doesn't crash, should be quite nice. Volumes, that one. Changing the world, 8 bits at a time. That was the word I was looking for. So I'll keep quiet now.
I was born in 1968, the year Space Odyssey hit the theatre, and 1 year before Neil Armstrong took his first step on the moon.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
1977, I watched Star Wars, the same year the Commodore PET entered the market, designed by Chuck Peddle, the godfather of the modern computer.
I am a Commodore user. In fact, I've been a Commodore user for quite a few years. 1982 was when I got my first computer. It was a VIC-20.
Invest in the wonder computer of the 1980s for under $300. The Commodore VIC-20.
I'll tell you what, when that box arrived and I could slide open the shiny outer cover, revealing the polystyrene, and then opening up the box, and really it just looked like a keyboard, but you plug the keyboard into the TV and you type that first program in, and you know it, you know the program, like 10, print, Stephen Fletcher, okay, you would put your own name in, of course, 20, go to 10, run, and there it is, your first program. And that, apart from doing some programming at school, was one of the first programs I ever wrote, and I'm guessing it's one of the first programs that you guys would have wrote as well.
Our production house, WaveM Studios, will be involved with the entire documentary, from camera equipment to logistics, and will handle the full post-production of a documentary this size.
The whole family can learn computing at home. Plays great games, too.
I want to do a documentary about the Commodore story, but not just a documentary that tells the story from the manufacturing point of view. I want to tell the story from the user point of view, from the games maker point of view.
Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you.
The world's #1 selling home computer is now in a family pack, the Commodore 64.
We're going to publish the Commodore story on Blu-ray, and we'll also be creating a 50-page book featuring photos and interviews from the documentary. We already have over 20 collaborators, including games programmers, composers, Commodore book and magazine writers. We also have collaboration from Commodore enthusiasts all over the world that still use their computers daily, and development teams busy prototyping the next generation of Commodore machines. We need your help to secure interviews with Commodore's key personnel, engineers and designers of the VIC-20, Commodore 64 and of course the Amiga.
one word.
An Amiga? Right on.
Amazing Amiga. That's good.
I was going to say awesome, but that sounds like a cartoon.
Radical, and it's certainly a radical machine.
Awesome.
One word, Amiga, friend. You know, I mean, that's what it means.
Yeah, I've been passionate about Commodore for quite a few years, and I started the passion in 1982 with the first VIC-20, the first actual home computer that I had. I have a magazine here. This is dated 22nd of December 1983, and in the magazine I was very proud at the time. I think I was 14 or 15, and I wrote a program called Ladders Run and actually managed to get a full page in there. I'll tell you an interesting story. Very recently on Twitter I put the listing of the game on Twitter, and somebody at the other side of the world actually typed in the complete game. He ran it, sent me a message back saying it works, like it's a surprise, you know, of course it works. But yeah, said he enjoyed the game, and this is like 33 years later, so the Commodore still lives.
We look forward to your support and pre-orders of the Blu-ray, the Commodore story and the book. If you have a Commodore story to tell, get in touch.
So there we go. That is, as was described there, the Commodore story. Now, me and my good girlfriend will be going to watch that this weekend. I'm sure she'll be bored senseless, but that's the cross she has to bear. I'd put the camera back on if I knew how. Oh, there we go. So there we go. That's my weekend plan. So there'll be no streams this weekend, as I will be watching films and probably blind drunk for most of it. Hello guys who are sending messages. Sledge Fox says, wonderful, thank you for your videos. You're more than welcome. I do hope you enjoy them. I try to make them interesting when possible. Digiflip is having some trouble with his screws for his Amiga M3x6. I think they are M3x6. That sounds very familiar. I don't know because I've never measured them, to be honest, but that sounds about right. But as I mentioned in a previous video, whenever that was, I said I was going to play a few Christmas games. So it only seems fair that I do. Now then, I have some new games on here which I haven't tried yet. So rather than, you know, make a balls of it and play things that don't work, let's try a Christmas one. If I haven't copied any over. Alright, we won't try any Christmas ones. Let's try one of the new ones then. Let's try bum 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 bum. Let's try that. I should open the unpacker. It does. Stick it in RAM. Go for it. What did you flip? I've actually just found them. Okay, good man. So you found your screws. Okay, let's try. Oh, it's a red pill game. So I need to zoom over to Scott, I suspect. Oh, there we go. Digiflip. It was in my Dominion base card box. Dominion base cards box. Oh, I don't know what that is. What's that? What's a Dominion base card box? I have no idea what this is. Is this Spanish? I would imagine it is. Space zooms on. Okay. Excellent. This game is from Aminet, which is it's a free download. I think they've done a series of games, or some people have done a series of games, for a games competition recently. So there's a few games have appeared all at once on Aminet. I'm sure everyone knows what Aminet is. Don't go in the hole, don't go in the hole. Now I used to have this game as a kid. It was wooden. It was called Labyrinth, I believe. Not sure why I've gone that way, but apparently I have. Digiflip says it's a board card game. Board card game. Okay. There is a little bit of momentum with the ball, so if you push or pull down, it does roll down as you expect a marble would. The physics are not quite right, but they're not bad. Don't go in the hole. Oh, the joystick was... Don't go... No. Bloody... I was robbed there. I was robbed. I'm playing on the Amiga 500 again, which at the most opportune time I used to screw up the joystick inputs. It does it on purpose. It waits while I'm playing a game and then it does it. That's not true, it does it quite often. I need to replace the sockets in this old girl. When it gets warm, the chips work loose a little bit. Ooh, bit of dodgy collision detection there. Oh no! This could be a complete dead loss. Right, we're just going for hell for leather now. I don't know how many balls you get. I would presume 3, as is the arcade standard for games. Look at that for speed. It's like a... Oh, bollocks. Is that it? Oh no, I have another ball. Perhaps you have endless balls. Balls of steel. We're going for speed now. We're power driving through. This is, like I say, it's running on Amiga 500, so it's an OCS ECS game. Which means... Oh, balls. 16, 32 colours. Anyway, that's that. Let's quit that. Cool. Okay, I did briefly play another game the other night, which was also a download. And it was called... Well, I don't know what it was called. Don't know. Oh, AGA. Did that say AGA then? I might have said AGA. AGA shapes. We can't run AGA. Let's have a go. Nope, we can't run AGA. Well, at least it's not crashed the machine, which is quite impressive. There was a game where... oh, it's called Mirror, that's right. That's the game I played the other night. You can see the mouse whizzing up and down. It goes full of silliness. Come on, mouse, don't mess me up. Yeah, oh, an ADF. I'm not going to mess about with ADS. I don't know what any of these games are, other than they're red pill games, I believe. Well, we could say, what could we say? A new adventure game interpreter. Alright, Nagy. Alright, new adventure game interpreter. Ah, okay. And what does one do with a new adventure game? Ooh. Waiting for clock thread to die. Done. I press escape then. There's no point, that's not a game, it's a game and there's a maker of some description, which is fine. A manual? You don't read manuals. So yes, I'll be down in London from tomorrow afternoon with Angie, so we'll be having a few drinks and all that sort of stuff. And then we'll be going to see the film on Saturday afternoon, which is quite exciting. I think I may be in the film briefly. I was interviewed, but I was incredibly hungover. I'm not sure I made much sense, so I'm not absolutely sure I'm in the film. But I'll be interested to see if I am or not. David Pleasance will be down there, so will quite a few Amiga stars. So it might be a who's who of the Commodore scene at the cinema, the Genesis cinema. So that'd be quite interesting. I must admit I'm looking forward to it. But what I'll do is I'll stop the stream in a little bit and I'll go make a drink, as is my want. And I'll copy some games over, some Christmas games, and I'll start a new stream called, I don't know, some Christmas games or whatever. We'll have a little play. Let's see how these games are. There's lots of trailers, there's all kinds of things going on here. Trailer HV. My goodness. Maybe this is a demo. I don't know what this is. But we'll try this one and see what it does. Anyway, how are you guys this evening? Are you all having a good time? Are you UK or the States or anywhere else in the world? In sunny Milton Keynes it is 8 PM. It's quite cold outside. We're expecting snow at some point. Maybe. I hope not, but we might be. Oh my goodness, this is a long job. Well, this is what happens when you don't check the games first. So there you go. Quite interesting. There might be some Hammer video in this trailer or something. Who knows? Very interesting. My goodness, this is a long job. Hey, says R16815. How you doing, buddy? You okay? That's Matthew, isn't it, I believe? There's a guy I used to talk to a year or two ago called RS1800, I think his tag was. Obviously a Ford Escort fan, if you're from the UK. And yeah, he was a nice chap. I haven't spoken to him for a long time. I don't know where he's disappeared to. Obviously he's got a real life. Come on, trailer, get on with it. Oh my goodness. If I'd known it was so big, pardon the pun, I would have unpacked this first. Cold northeastern, thank you. Digiflip says, I have an ST Focus Escort. I have an ST Focus. Escort is its grandfather. You're right. Oh, for God's sake. All that for that. What's so disappointing. Yes, the Escort is its... Yeah. No room left on the thingamabob. Oh, well, that's an opportune time to say we'll leave it there. So I'm going to shut down, guys, make a cup of tea, and I shall be back in, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes when I copy some games over. So I'll see you in just a little while.